All right, so this is going to be the first time I've ever done a reacting commentary to a too long didn't read video. I don't know how he feels about react videos, but considering this is a shit post, a decently purposed shit post, because he's calling someone out for a good damn reason, in my opinion. But yeah, so hopefully he appreciates that. Hopefully he appreciates this. I don't want to be stepping on anyone's toes, because I actually really like his commentary. I actually just finished watching his latest video earlier today. Hold on. Let's load this. Specifically, let's go to here. Well, not his latest one. It was his You Were Not Spiked, probably, where he actually talks about the research into like how prevalent roofie attacks actually are in like drink spiking. And the answer is actually the evidence that we have for like the actual the investigations into these things is actually it's not nearly as common as people think it is. And it's actually a really good video. If you get the opportunity, if you're curious if that like ticks any alarm bells or if that sounds interesting to you, watch the video. He gives his citations. He actually makes a very compelling case. But my personal favorite one is his deconstruction of feminism, to be perfectly honest. Especially abortion as a religious right, which I will watch on stream at some point, but not right now, because I have a lot to say about that. So I guess our first example is going to be this one, because this is a bit funny, and not everything needs to be serious, right? Like, I don't have to talk about politics in a serious capacity all the time. Sometimes I just want to laugh at a little cow, right? So here we go. The Ballad of Carl the Black, extended director's cut special, director's special cut edition, bigger, blacker, complete. God, I swear to God, if this gets my Twitch, like, okay, here we go.
Let's begin with that.
Yeah.
As Bo says, it's not about being the most British. That's not what we should be aiming at. However,
most English.
Mr. Ethnostate here, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Britain with England being an ethnostate. I really don't give a shit. But it's like the claims that this guy has been making, apparently, which I'd only heard like twice, and I thought he was fucking around, but apparently he was being serious about them. It was like, interesting, kind of funny, actually.
My dad isn't white.
Mm-hmm.
So my granddad wasn't white, and he was a black man in the 60s who married my white grandmother. My grandfather wasn't a quarter black. He was fully black. I don't know what race he actually was, because it was never something I really cared about. I mean, he was a very dark-skinned man, but I don't think he was sub-Saharan.
Must be talking about Hassan. No, we're talking about Carl Benjamin today. I like some of the things he does, but there are definitely times when Carl Benjamin goes full regard, right? And this was definitely one of them. He kept up this particular lie. Honestly, I think we could actually call this an unironic grift. But he kept up this particular lie for quite a while, and he could have been a troll, but I don't think it was. I think it was. I think this one was actually a legitimate grift.
I never really thought about it, because I don't care. I don't know, West Indian or something, maybe?
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Well, you don't know.
I can't tell whether he's West Indian or black or like African. It's like, what do you mean? Well, all I know is he's black. It's like, I think a normal person can tell the difference between like a black Australian, black African, and a black Indian, right? Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's an uncomfortable place for my avatar to be. But yeah, I think most people can tell the difference if they actually pay attention, right? It's not like telling the difference between, like, for example, a Central African and like a Southern African, but it's like Indians, Africans, and Australians they just don't look like each other. So it's like, what do you mean? I don't know what he was. Like, he could have been West Indian. It's like, the fuck do you mean?
Understand. My grandfather was a black man. Okay, he was 50% black. My 25% black grandfather wouldn't like your racism. He's 10% black. That 5% means something to him. We appreciate his 2.5% black heritage. Okay, real talk. He had one hell of a tan, okay? Leave me alone.
Okay.
Bigot.
I'm not sure if sorry.
You know what? Let me see if I can find it, because that's fucking funny. I gotta play the thing. I think everyone knows exactly what video I'm about to play, but I didn't think about putting this on. But It still might be one of the funniest fucking jokes on the Boondocks.
Here it is. My test results. Can you hear my heart beating? Oh, the white man's science is amazing, ain't it? Oh, no. This can't be. It says I'm 102% African with a 2% margin of error. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why?
Oh my god, it's like literally the inverse of that. Holy shit.
Sargon really believes what he's saying, and he may just saying it because he wants people to believe that he doesn't consider Mediterraneans white, and this is related to his claims about being black, which morphed into claims of him being non-white.
That I have to actually look back and observe and study and understand.
Well, you'd be surprised, actually. My dad isn't white.
Mhm.
So my granddad wasn't white, and he was a black man in the 60s who married my white grandmother. And my father is his son, his oldest son, and then I'm my father's oldest son. So
Okay,
I might look quite white, but if you would see a sort of a genealogy of my family, it's not. And it's very interesting, like, and I love this. Listen to this. The tricky thing is that even if his grandfather was actually himself only a quarter black, he'd still refer to him as black. My grandfather wasn't a quarter black; he was fully black. So who the hell knows how much black DNA he actually has? I went in this alt-right hangout, and there were like 8 of them and me, and my grandfather's black on my dad's side.
I watched Alt Hype's video today, and he...
Yeah.
So, I'm waiting for him to directly say hold on. Chicken Tender 19 says, I did not know, but oh my god, yes, this is one of the best jokes for the Boondocks. Yes. It's definitely one of my favorite. Oh my god. I got a black friend who who's like, said that joke out loud multiple times, and like every fucking time it kills me.
Made the argument that you are not being completely honest, that you are part black.
I don't know what race he actually was, because it was never something I really cared about. I mean, he was a very dark-skinned man, but I don't think he was sub-Saharan. I never really thought about it, because I don't care. I don't know, West Indian or something maybe?
Yeah.
I just don't know. My grandfather wasn't a quarter black, he was fully black.
So Sargon claimed
Yeah. Again, it's kind of hard to think that this was a legitimate like confusion as opposed to like a tactical decision made to gain a particular advantage, right? And yeah, fair enough. I do think Too Long Didn't Read makes a good point towards the end of this, that I think people kind of get annoyed at him, or it seems people get annoyed at him for pointing out, but it's like, no, he's actually totally fucking right about to call him out on
to
this.
be black. This way he was able to say, see, I'm not racist, I'm part black. Checkmate, SJWs.
Well, he could also just said that he married a black woman, which from what I understand, he did. I think he did marry a black woman. It was like, how? To be fair, how racist are you if you marry a black woman and you have children with her, right? If you're a white guy and you have children with a black woman and you actually raise those black, those half black children, how racist are you? To be perfectly honest, right? Could you fucking imagine that skit on like some kind of comedy show? It's like, I hate black people so much, I want my children to be half black. It's like, what the fuck is going on here, right? Well, it's the contradiction built into the left, right? They have to allow this contradiction, because if they disallow this contradiction, then they open themselves up to criticism.
The problem is, he's clearly not black, and he blundered by showing a video of his parents playing a virtual reality video game. So he's tried to morph his past claim of my grandfather was black to my grandfather wasn't white. But how can he do this? Well, by saying Mediterraneans aren't white.
This is why the term white people is actually really not very useful. It doesn't really describe many people outside of Northern Europe and their descendants.
This is so fucking cartoonish too as well. Okay, so Sargon also likes to Carl Benjamin likes to style himself as like a history buff. And this is such a cartoonishly funny thing to post, because originally, funny enough, the Germans would not have been considered white right? The oldest example we have in the literature of a description of a peoples as being white, quote unquote, right, belongs to Pliny the Elder, who, you know, described the Mediterranean peoples as white, right? So it's a complete inversion of reality. In fact, he actually said, Pliny the Elder is very clear that the Germans are not white. They are, he uses a word that would translate as yellow, but we all know that he's probably referring to the hair color, you know, blonde. So Pliny the Elder just separated like the European population into at least two groups: the whites, which would have been the Mediterraneans, you know, my ancestors, and then the blondes, right, as a distinct people. And he also mentions like a third group, which is not European, but he mentions like the Ethiopians as a people. But you know, anyway, so it's like, it is kind of funny where we have let's see, Crimson said, I clicked follow, but it didn't work. How odd. Well, did I already get a debuff? That's going to be really funny if that's the case, right? They saw me play Carl Benjamin, not realize I'm roasting him. And they're like, immediate channel debuff. Yeah, so it's like, that's just a historically, like, comical claim. It's like, oh yeah, it's like Mediterraneans aren't white. It's like, motherfucker, they literally invented the description, right? Oh my goodness. Even later examples of like after the word white became like to encompass like everyone in the fucking European continent for some reason, right? Like the Germans still distinguish themselves. Like, I mean, I think we all know what the, you know, the whole thing that happened in the modern era, that is the, you know, the thing that happened that everyone knows, right? With the Nazis and like the blonde hair and the blue eyes thing, right? And it was like, oh yeah, the pale skin wasn't the determining factor, although it was important to them. It wasn't the determining factor. You know, they definitely put a high degree of emphasis on the blonde. But yeah, so it's like, that's just fucking cartoonishly stupid. It's like, you're gonna use these categories and then you're gonna divorce the original fucking people who used and described themselves this way from the category. That's fucking wild.
Need to explain why culture across white people, or people they consider to be white, not including Southern Europeans now, I hope, suddenly now we're
That fucking, oh my god. Yeah, because again, Pliny the Elder would not have considered someone from the British Isles or someone from Germania or someone from like the Finland to have been white. I'm just saying, historically speaking, he just would not have.
chucking out the Southern Europeans from being white. Mediterraneans aren't fucking white, okay?
What a wild claim. What? Yes, history buff. Redefining terms, eh?
And I suppose if you're going to bring up the black grandfather, you're going to point to his prior behaviors, like lying when it's convenient and smearing people because it's just too much of a bother to tell the truth.
But just out of convenience, you're going to tell everybody I'm all right.
Well, I'm afraid so. Yeah, it's a pragmatic maneuver. You gotta...
What a cunt. What an absolute cunt. Oh yeah, I'm gonna actually just like, because that's basically a lie. That's still withholding information for the sake, you know, that is actually relevant to the conversation, right? Oh my god. So
I understand. I've got to make fucking tactical judgments.
Well,
yeah, tactical judgments are one thing, but you can't lie about someone you're talking to, right? That is a different like issue.
You want to tell me that it's too much work for you to do that? Are you sure? It's too much work for you to go through the labor of doing that.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, they don't really know what you guys are anyway. The SJWs don't care. They're too stupid. Not even, it's not...
Why are you telling them I'm all right?
Because there's no point trying to explain to them what you are.
Yeah, I mean, you can... Carl, you're a content creator. You can make content out of these people being retarded. What the fuck are you on about? Oh my god.
They won't understand.
Okay, I gotta go back so we can read this, because, you know, anyone who watches me knows I like to actually read the screen. So, Warplan Purple said, "Remember when you dared come at me last time you fucked yourself for months? Stay in your lane, you boomer con man, before people remember that you think honesty is just a tactic." Oh, you know, fair enough. Fair enough.
acting in a politically expedient manner. That's what I want from a politician. Somebody who's willing to omit and lie when it's beneficial to them.
My granddad wasn't white, and he was a black man in the 60s who married my white grandmother. My grandfather wasn't a quarter black, he was fully black.
100%.
Chicken tenders, it sounds very much like a Brit bonger. Not all Brit bongers are like that, but this guy definitely is a Brit bonger. He's not giving other Brit bongers a very good name.
Said British Isles. So I have a maternal grandmother that was from that bit. Is that County Kerry or something?
Called Mary.
Yes. No.
Wow.
I can't remember what it was. I did meet her only once, and I can't remember it because I was very small. So my grandmother on the mother's side spent some time in Ireland, but
right. So you're unironically as non-British as I am.
No,
my granddad wasn't white, and he was a black man in the 60s who married my white grandmother. My grandfather wasn't a quarter black; he was fully black.
Okay then. So you're about as non-British as I am, says the guy who literally all of his ancestors that could be detected came from the fucking Isles, right? He's like, oh yeah, my grandfather was a quarter black. It's like, okay. We did just see you redefine white to mean only the Germans, right? And the Northern Europeans, like the Finns and the Nords. So it's like, okay. Okay, I see definitions are a bit malleable here.
My grandfather's black on my dad's side.
100% British Isles.
So you're unironically as non-British as I am.
Yep, okay, yeah, I caught that too.
No. Checkmate, SJWs.
My grandfather's black.
So you're unironically as non-British as I am.
No.
And now the thrilling conclusion to whatever the hell this is.
You know what? Let's do even more. Let's update this video for a modern audience. Apparently, when that original video ended, some people didn't fully understand the point that was being made. Well, it's really rather simple. Someone who claims to have 25% African ancestry comparing themselves to someone of 100% white English ancestry and saying, "We are the same." These things are not the same. It has long since been known that Carl lied about having a fully black grandfather, as if that wasn't obvious enough by just looking at him.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause that one there because it's like you can have people who have like mixed backgrounds who then have like they don't look like they have mixed backgrounds. That does happen, right? But it is a funny jab at Carl, especially considering again how much he apparently like just sticks to that story, and it definitely like helps with like the eye rolling of like how fucking ridiculous this claim is, right?
But since I published that first original bit of this video, there has been more information released, so I'm having a do-over of this particular shitpost. We can always do.
Is this a shit post or is it a shit post? Right? It's before you post, always ask that question.
Better, we can always improve. The podcast in question paywalled Carl's own results for somewhat obvious reasons.
Yeah. Not that. Yeah, I remember that. That is kind of so it is kind of illuminating, right? Sometimes like what a person keeps concealed can be just as illuminating as what someone says. If sometimes not more so.
I highly suspect he remembers this dubious claim about being 25% sub-Saharan and didn't want people with a memory longer than 5 minutes to rib him over it yet again. But there has been a wonderful leak of that particular screenshot, so let's look at that, shall we? 46% Wales, 26% England and the northwest of Europe, 6% Sweden, 5% the Deacon and the Gulf of Mannar, that's in the East Indian Ocean.
What in the East Indian, okay.
5% Germanic Europe, 4% Ireland, 3% Western Bantu people, 2% Bengal.
Oh my, 2% Bengal. Oh, it's Is that, we're getting it with Is that culture. I'm kidding, right? Okay, so Road asks, said, I'm doing well, just chilling. You? Doing well so far. I finally got monetization, not on Twitch, but like side monetization abilities. So, I got a subscribe star to Ko-Fi, and I'm waiting for Patreon, and I'm waiting for YouTube to either approve or reject my pages. So hopefully I can actually start, because a couple people were saying again that they wanted to throw coin at me, and there wasn't really a way to do that. And Twitch, I haven't satisfied one criteria, like the last criteria for like affiliate status. So I had to come up with a workaround, right? Hopefully, I can satisfy that criteria for the Twitch affiliate this week, because all I have to do is I have to average 4 viewers on Twitch for 4 streams. So hopefully I can get that within the week, and if that's the case, then I can receive bits and subs. But anyway, so yeah, that's about it. Not really much to report. Just content farming at this point. Chicken Tender said, but I think either the mom or dad had some black descendancy. I think you mean ancestry, but possibly. I mean, it says Bengal here. Southern Bantu peoples 1% doesn't really mean much, because like you could have had a Moor, right, as like an ancestor. Cornwall 1%, Ashkenazi 1%. So he's literally as black as he is Jewish. Well, you're at 4 viewers now, so exactly. Let's push.
Southern Bantu 1%, Ashkenazi Jew, and 1% Cornwall. Wow.
He is equally as black as he is Ashkenazi and Cornish.
Oh, 4 whole...
Don't mind the Ko-Fi thing. That's set to auto, just tag every 30 minutes.
Percent. So black. Now, I know this is where you're going to get dumbass apologists going, oh, well, at least there was a little bit. He just got the estimation wrong. Because, you just casually forget that your grandfather wasn't fully black, and that your father quite obviously isn't half and half.
Yeah, no, I don't believe the cope and seethe statement, right? I think Too Long Didn't Read is absolutely right to lambast him for this. This is a ridiculous fucking like fable to tell, and I don't exactly understand what benefit he thought he was going to get out of this. Because this to me strikes me as like a lie of convenience. Personally, I can't prove it, but it does strike me as like something that was said to gain an advantage in the SJW versus non-SJW SJR conflict, right?
And you have somehow made it to your 30s not knowing that children inherit half of their DNA from their parents, meaning you get 25% from your grandparents.
Yeah, I also don't understand, like, because Carl does have a point where it's like, yeah, the British should be proud of their, like, history, right? The British Empire did do great things, right? And, yeah, sure, Britbongers should be proud of that, just like America has done great things, and the great things America has done, Americans should be proud of, right? Their ancestral history. But it's like, how proud are you of your history when you have to, like, again, fold someone else's heritage into your own through, again, rhetoric in order to, just con man epistemology. How proud of your own history really are you, right? That's all I gotta say. I think the British should be proud of their history, but I don't think Carl really is nearly as proud of his history as he, like, claims to be, because, again, what's going on here, right? Why do you have to invent this story that doesn't seem to be true? Maybe hold on, maybe it is entirely possible that his grandfather actually was maybe black, and that it just wasn't his biological grandfather, right? There's a couple ways that could happen, right? Maybe his grandmother got divorced and remarried. I don't fucking know, right? But that's a possibility. I don't think it is what happened. I'm just putting it out there. That is a thing that could potentially make sense of this data, but I don't think that that's actually what happened.
If after all of that you still want to make that claim, that actually makes him look like more of a dumbass.
Yep.
Or some other nonsense about how some of these things were considered black, or how some things that were historically always considered to be white were actually black, like Irish and Italian people, who were always known to be white, by the way. It's basic.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, right? Huh. Crimson Rain 14 says, turns out it was a Firefox issue, had to clear cookie. Oh, fair enough, right? Yeah, I have to clear cookies sometimes and I forget about it. It's like, ah, damn, right? Yeah, that does get in the way. You know what? That actually might be explaining some of my Odyssey problems. Maybe I have to clear the cookies so I can actually get Odyssey to behave correctly.
Just a bunch of cope because they don't want to admit that someone told a dumbass lie. And I also know people are going to want to do the, oh, you're just being really petty, dragging up things from the past. Why are you even doing that? Are you trying to be relevant? Why don't you just go away and never say anything about the person that I like on the internet? Well, what's more petty? The person who points out that someone lied in a fairly significantly big way about their ancestry, or the person who lied about their ancestry to win an online discussion?
I mean, yeah. I think he has a point there, right? I think this is not the kind of lie that just, like, happens. Like, well, first of all, it's like, if you genuinely think it, it's not a lie. It's just you being misinformed, right? But, like, if this is an actual lie that's being told, it's like, you have to ask the question, why is the lie being made, right? And it does seem to me that, again, he did make a mention about, like, you got to be tactical about this stuff. And it does seem to me that this was a tactical lie to get him an advantage over, like some people in these conversations.
Which one of those is more petty? Lying to win a dumb internet conversation, or someone saying, hey, that's a lie, and you've now just posted the information that proves you were lying all along, which we all already knew anyway. And on this scale of you're just dredging things up and trying to make it relevant again, well, who made it more relevant? The person who is DNA testing himself on the internet to prove how white he is for his tradcuck pseudo-ethnat grifting LARPing arc? Or the person who sees that and says, hey, I remember a time when you claimed to be 25% black to totally own and checkmate those SJWs online.
He should have said SJR, but yes.
Then there's some other bizarre cope about how, oh no, black doesn't mean black as in sub-Saharan, literally the common vernacular for the term black. No.
It's literally that Thanos scene of reality can be whatever I want it to. Whatever I want. Fucking Carl with the fucking reality stone. It's like 25% black. Oh my god.
Black actually just means anyone who isn't fully white or doesn't fully look white. Because, you know, someone in their 30s looks at someone who is maybe like an eighth or a quarter brown and says, ah, a black man. The my grandfather was totally black thing is stupid enough as it is. We don't need to invent other stupid things for someone to be thinking.
Agreed. This is already just like an insult to the intelligence of anyone that he's talking to be perfectly honest. Right? I got, maybe I should gen that, because it's like I have access to image generators. So it's like maybe I should just generate fucking Carl Benjamin as Thanos, just like doing the Thanos snap. Like the Irish are black.
Because if you do want to try and invent this position that he said black to mean someone who's like some slither not white or doesn't look quite 100% Aryan, then my brother in Christ, you think he is more stupid than I do. I'm usually quite happy to ignore Carl unless he's discussing something particularly relevant to my interests. I actually have a somewhat positive opinion of some parts of his podcast. Although I do notice that the best presenters are always the ones who seem to leave after a year or so.
I will say, like in the last video I did with Miza Tamari, or not with Miza Tamari, but like responding to Miza Tamari, I will say, it was kind of surprising to me that like that he caught on so late about like Carl Benjamin not believing some of the things he says. because I will admit I gave Carl Benjamin the benefit of the doubt for quite a while, but I caught on pretty quick that he doesn't actually believe some of the things he says. Mostly again because he would like contradict himself on certain things that he would say, and not in a way it's like, wait, hold on, that was an off-the-cuff statement, let me think about that, but more in the sense of like, yeah, no, I literally don't define the term that way. So it's like, oh, you're being deceptive and obfuscative here. Okay, that's fine, that's nice. Let's see, Chicken Tender says should do that, but make it TF2 soldier to turn into demo. Okay, you know what? That's a good one. I might actually have to start getting into video generation now, because that actually could be fucking funny. Hold on, I'm gonna have to write that down when because I always watch these premieres, but when this premieres, I'm definitely gonna have to write that down so I can credit that if I ever actually get that to work.
All in all, when I saw that podcast doing DNA tests, I just looked at that and said, you know, I remember something very interesting about this topic. Let's see where it goes. And this is what happens. Someone says, hey, look at me. And then those of us with a functioning memory say, yeah, look at you.
Yep. Now, my big beef with Sargon was over
and then fanboys get mad at you for pointing it out.
Yeah, that is true. My big beef with Sargon has always been on the free speech issue, because I'm a free speech absolutist. Just like I'm a Second Amendment absolutist, right? Like, I don't compromise on either of those two things. But, you know, Sargon doesn't really believe in, honestly, either of those two principles. And it's like, he pretends as if he does, but if you actually press him on the issue, and this is a way that you could tell if someone is really an absolutist on any on any idea or not, is that if you hold, or even like a moral person, right? Because it doesn't matter what moral system that you actually hold, whether it's virtue ethics or consequentialism or deontology or rational egoism, or let's say what's another one, utilitarianism. Any ethical principle that you have, including pragmatism, by the way, any ethical principle that you have will put you at some point in an uncomfortable situation, right? So being consistent, being put in, again, so it's like, it's not that hard to get any of these to be put into like an uncomfortable situation through a thought experiment. And you can definitely use that to see who actually abides by these principles and who's just using them because they happen to be convenient, right? They don't actually believe in them. But yeah, so, and I definitely think in a certain respect, this is exactly what we see in Carl, is that this is more of a thing of convenience than it is a thing of like actual belief and like credibility. So, yeah, and, you know, lying about being part black is, you know, pretty good indicator of that. It's like, again, not everything that comes out of his mouth is entirely above board. Some of it is just tactically decided beforehand to gain an advantage. You know, so is that, I guess, right? So that'll be it for this recording. Again, if you're on stream, stay behind, and I have some more to put on screen. But if you're watching the recording, you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video.